Hello everyone, hey, I appreciate you tuning in. Today we are going to get our new vehicle that we purchased, the flat tow behind our RV, ready to flat tow. And today's project is to install the Blue Ox base plate. Now I did look at purchasing another bumper that is flat tow rated. I also looked at the Maximus 3. I've decided to go with, at least for now, I'll go with the Blue Ox base plate. I think that's going to really fit for what I need. We're not going to do a lot of rock crawling with this Rubicon, even though it's certainly rated for that. We will do some off-roading and some trail riding with it, and certainly all over the beach. So I think the Blue Ox will serve us now. If it starts getting in the way, then I'll replace it. But when I looked at the cost of that bumper, it was around $2,000. The Blue Ox base plate was $600. So I just decided to go with the Blue Ox base plate, and that's what we're going to install today. So let me show you the parts of this. Hey, allow me to interrupt the video for just a moment, but this will be a two-part video. The installation of the Blue Ox base plate alone is about a 30-minute video, and that's for me cutting out all of the non-essential stuff. But I believe that if you start cutting out too much, it would cheat you, the viewer, on how I did it. Part 2 of the video will be how we install the Blue Ox light kit, the Blue Ox breakaway switch, as well as the RVI Battery Tender, so that we keep our battery charged while we're flat towing. Again, that'll be part 2, so make sure you join us for that. Now, back to the installation of the Blue Ox base plate. So, we have our Blue Ox base plate right there. We have a wiring kit that we're going to put on, because there's several different stages to this, right? This is our wiring kit for the lights. This is our breakaway switch that we'll be installing. And this is my RVI towed battery charger. This is how I keep the H2 that we have been flat towing previously, and how I keep the battery charged. So certainly I need this with the Jeep as well. And I also have this 6-plug connector right here that we'll be connecting the lights to. Over here is all the parts that come with the Blue Ox base plate. And the first thing we have to do is remove the Rubicon's bumper, and shouldn't be too difficult. We got a few tabs here we got to pull up, 2 of them right there, and we've got several back here on the back that you can't see. And then there's going to be 4 bolts, 4 nuts that we have to remove, 2 on each side of the frame rail, 2 on that side, of course, and then 2 over here on this side. So we'll remove this bumper, get my little screwdriver, and I'm going to just pop these little, there we go. The whole thing didn't come out, so just lift that right up there. So these are the little tabs I'm talking about right here. All right, so that removes that out of the way. Now I'm going to remove the 4 bolts that hold on the skid plate. There's 2 on this side and 2 on the other side, so I'm just going to remove those. Now, before we remove this bumper, I've got to disconnect the fog lights here, and this is on the passenger side. So I'm going to, what I had to do is just pull this yellow, this is on the Rubicon, at least on this 2024, push this back, and then I've worked this apart here. Let me show you from down below. So it's this plug right here that we've got to disconnect that works the fog light. Now we got to remove the 4 nuts off each side, 2 on this side, as I said earlier, 2 on the other side. So let's see if I can get it without a breaker bar. Now the other side. Grab me some gloves too while I was at it. Okay, now that we got these 4 bolts off, we're just going to move over to the other side, the driver's side, and do the same thing. Okay, now that we've got all 8 nuts off of the bumper, should just be able to slide her off. There we go. All right, put this over here out of the way. All right, so per our instructions, the next thing I want to do is remove this 16mm bolt right here that's holding this bracket on the frame. But we will be reinstalling this with the blue ox. So I'm going to try to keep this bracket in place by just putting a vice grip on it here, and then I'll take my 16mm socket, I'm sorry. Yeah. I think let's get this done. And again, we're going to set this aside because we will be reusing it. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the driver's side. Next, according to the instructions, we need to remove both of these 16mm bolts that hold the belly pan or the skid plate on. So we'll remove those, and we're going to hold on to this because we're going to reuse this too, as well as this bracket. We got to actually enlarge this hole right here. We have to be able to get one of these nuts up in there, and you see it's not going to go now. So the way the instructions say to do it is just to mark. It would be easier if I had something different color than black on black like this, but I'll be able to see it there and there. All right, I can see that. I'll get my Dremel now and cut something like that. There we go. I'd even like to just go ahead and get that on out of there. Let me see if I can just knock it on out. There we go. There. Let's see. Yeah, now she'll go in there with no problem. Now I'm gonna get some paint and just hit it with some paint to reduce any chance of rust. There we go. Okay, now According to the instructions, now that we've got all that done, next step is to begin installing the Blue Ox base plate. And again, because I'm working by myself here, let me just get something started here and then I'll show you. Yeah. Now that we got it in place, I've got my red Loctite on. We're going to reinstall the 16 millimeter bolt right here. Now I'm just going to sort of snug it up. I do not want to tighten it down just yet, obviously, because we've got to line some stuff up. Now let's come to the other side. And again, just going to put some red Loctite on there. All right, now according to the instructions, we got to reattach the skid plate bracket, and it goes between the frame rail and the base plate here. So I've got to see if I can line this up. I may have to use a pry bar to get it in there. And we're just going to use the existing bolts that came out. Let me get a pry bar here. Try to get that top one first. Almost there. Yeah, that's pretty good. There we go. Got the top one going. Nope. All right, got the top going. Now let's get the bottom. And right now, again, we are just kind of snugging these up. We'll go back and torque them to the specs a little bit later. All right. All right, now let's go to the other side. All right. Okay, we got those three on each side in now. I'm just going to give them a good tightening. Okay, I can remove these now. Next, we just got to insert this 1/2-inch bolt into this. I won't be able to get my handle nut up in the bottom like you can on some models because I've got this plate here that serves some purpose. I forget exactly what, but nonetheless, I've got to take these two 16 millimeter bolts out and remove that bracket. Then I can get up in the bottom there and then attach my bolt or screw the bolt into the nut here. So let me remove these two right quick. All right, we got the Loctite on. Now I'm just going to install this there, and now I'll come up here with the handle nut. And I got a shot of it right here. All right, there's the handle nut. You see the 1/2-inch bolt, me screwing it into the nut right there. We'll also come back and cut all of these off too. Now, let's get to the other side. Snug that up. All right, now we're just going to attach this bracket back. Yeah, I don't know if I had the camera on, but I just cut these wires with some snips. Now let me show you something that's a little bit unique with this Rubicon with the steel skid plate, or belly pan as they call it in Blue Ox language. But many people will have to use this spacer right here that would basically go right here, something like that. Okay, well, we don't have to use that for this application because we actually are using the belly pan bracket and it acts as a spacer. Let me show you one of the spacers we will use. That's this one right here. We're going to use it right here because we're about to put a 1/2 inch drill bit in here and drill in just one side of this frame rail. And as we add that 1/2 inch bolt, we are going to use this spacer right there. But again, it goes back to why you really want to make sure you read your instructions of which application, which Jeep, and which model of Jeep you're putting it on. Now we're going to get ready to drill with a 1/2 inch drill bit, right here with a 1/2 inch drill bit, and then we'll be attaching this handle nut to this bolt back there. All right, and I'll show you how that looks. All right, what I'm going to try now is just do a step up. All right. And what I'm doing is just start a little smaller drill bit and then just increase it. See, I'm just stepping it up. That way I don't wear out my drill bit or my shoulder. All right, now I do want to use the spacer right here that comes with it. I'm going to try to get her in there like that. The spacer was just a little tight right now because I got everything a little bit too tight probably, which is why I like to leave everything fairly loose until there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, just straightening that spacer up a little bit. There, okay. Now, get our handle nut here and feed it through. May have to bend it up a little bit. Come hold this flashlight right here for me, please. Got it. All right, thank you, Claky. I'm not ready for you on the other one here yet because I still got to drill that hole. All right, now we're just going to snug up. It's a 19 millimeter, by the way. Snug that up. Get it started here with this. Put some Loctite on. Now I'll get the spacer. Straighten the spacer out like that. Okay. Right there. Right there. Good. Got it. All right, let's tighten this up. And again, we'll come back and torque everything according to specs. Go ahead and cut these. Okay, one of the last things I need to do as it relates to the install is to hook up the safety cables here you see. These are to help protect in case there's a catastrophic disconnect. What I want to do is run it up over the frame, and I want to run it behind this frame mount right here, and very gently and carefully find a way to do that. And actually what I'm going to do is start over here, run it up this way. Trying to be real careful. I'm just running it behind, through some things and behind it, and then I'll get ready to bend it down here like so, and then we're going to actually connect it right here to the base plate itself. Right, just going to put a little anti-seize on here just in case I ever have to take this off. You never know, down the road I may want to change something out, do something different. But I do have it ran in a place I think we're going to be okay. Pretty sure we're going to be okay. And again, I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit, make sure. Now, let's put some zip ties on here. All right, good. All right, so good. Okay, so good here. All right, now that we got everything on, it's time to, I'm going to torque everything down according to specs. All right, so the part that I've dreaded most, and that is cutting this steel skid plate or belly pan, whatever you want to call it. So what I've done is I got some measurements here according to the instructions, and I got my gloves, of course, my ear protection, eye protection is already on, then I got my angle grinder that I'm going to try to cut this with, and we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to kind of get me a line going. Say again? I'm trying to get me a line going so I can stay in there. Gotcha. All right, let me show you what I got so far. So you can see this is what I've got. I'm going to try to break off that center piece right there because I really can't cut it. Think we can break it going back and forth? Right, well if I do, I just paint over it. Can you get it through there? Oh, if you can get it through there, take it on out. There you go. All right. There we go. Look at that. I'm going to stick to the outside of this one. Well, let me show the folks what we did, Dave. A moment of truth. Let's see. Well, that's looking pretty good. Let's get some bolts in here.
Oh yeah, I'm going right up.
Yeah. I'm not going to tighten it all the way because I got to clean up some stuff on it, but looks like we got the measurements right, man.
Yes.
Your back bolt is even in, right?
That's looking good.
we got it right, believe it or not. So it fits on there okay. The cuts look good. I'm just gonna clean them up. I'm gonna get either a grinder or a file. David, I'm gonna file it down a little bit, smooth it out a little bit, and then I'm gonna hit it with some paint. So let's take care of that. Yeah, it looks a little rough on the inside, but by the time you put some paint on it, we'll be fine. Got this Rust-Oleum paint to put on it. Helps, you know, prevent some rust, right?
Yep.
Okay, we did clean it up a little bit with the file, and we did put a little paint on it, keep from rusting. You good?
Should be. Yep.
Good. I got the torque value on these bolts, which I'll torque them later. I forgot what they were. All right, let me show you how things actually turned out. Pretty pleased with it. See our cuts right there? It's pretty good, not bad. Yep, pretty happy with it. All right, now we're gonna move on and take care of the lights. Hey, join us for part 2 as we connect the Blue Ox light kit, the breakaway switch, as well as the RVI Battery Tender. Again, that's part 2 of the video.